Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Scott Schilling Speaks. I'm your host, Scott Schilling. We're going to talk all things apps today because we've got the founder of Unleashed mobile apps, been around since 2015, founder Nancy Schwab. Nancy, thanks for joining me here.
Well, thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. And I look forward to our time today.
Yeah, so what are the, there's a lot of different apps out there, a lot of free, a lot of paid for, a lot of stuff. Many people have more apps than they know what to do with. How about, let's talk about the ones that are worth having and why they're worth having. Does that make some sense?
It does. It does. Because there's last count, not that I counted them, over 3 million apps in the App Store.
Wow.
Yeah. And believe it or not, your average person is using, excuse me, anywhere from 9 to 12 apps on a daily basis. And when people think about that, they go a little nuts. They're like, no way, no way. And then they start counting. You know, you're using your weather, your mail, your social medias and whatnot to do different business. So how do you know what's right for your business?
Right.
As well as your personal to really make it work? And it's kind of hard to discern that unless you know what you're doing. You know, what is it that you're trying to achieve? So the first thing that you have to ask yourself is, what are you trying to achieve? Are you looking for an easy way to make videos? You know, every phone has its own app, but are you looking to do that? Are you looking for a logistics app to manage your crew? Are you looking for a social media posting app, or even just a simple electronic business card? You know, what is it that you're looking for? Yeah.
No, so go ahead. That's I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. When you said that, I started thinking through the apps I use on a consistent basis, and I probably do use that many, but I don't really know that I realize I'm even doing that.
Well, that's just it. People don't realize that. In fact, you have your phone and your device with you all the time. And a lot of times people will only do business with other businesses who have a mobile app. Rarely do you go to the browser and start typing in a website anymore. Yeah, you might occasionally, but if you're going to, well, let's just say even ordering food, a lot of people will not go to the grubhub.com, but they will use Grubhub or DoorDash or whoever, and it's an app on their phone. Same thing with Amazon. You go to Amazon to purchase, as well as instead of putting in a browser. You can actually do that now as a business. With smaller businesses can have their own apps in an affordable way. And a lot of people don't realize that, but the market will only do business with people who have apps. If you really think about it, about 80 to 90% of smartphone users, that's the way that they will work. And so how do you know what's good and what's bad? Well, first of all, you have to take a look at your own habits, right?
Right.
And then you want to add something into it. Let's say you're looking for a video maker. And some of these smaller businesses have some really nice video makers that people don't even know about, like Movavi is one, or Wave Video. They're just two of the ones that are fairly new to the market. But you go out to the App Store, and the first thing that you need to do is find out when's the last time they updated that app. That is key. And people miss that part. They see an app and they want to go with it. But if you look at it and that app has not been touched or updated in 12 months or more, good chance it's been abandoned. And you don't know it because the stores don't always bring them down. You can ask for your app to be removed, but again, if you've abandoned it as a business, good chance you're not going to think to take it down.
Right.
And this is Google and Apple, so it doesn't matter which one that you're on. But you look at that, and then the next thing you look at is the reviews. After you've discerned what it does, look at the features. Yes, this is what I want, but go down and take a look at the reviews and find out if it's really working or not. The reviews will tell you amazing things, you know, and Scott, isn't it funny? We will actually trust stranger reviews than a referral from a friend or family.
Right.
You know,
pretty interesting that way. So when do you make the decision, or when does a business make the decision to create their own app?
Well, and there's a couple of things that you want to do before you even get into that deciding factor. The first and foremost is, what is it that your audience wants? Do you have an audience? Do you have a following? Do you have a place that you're already delivering content or doing business with people? And then the next step is, what is it, the problem that you're trying to solve with your app? What problem that is not being served right now can you provide? Whether it's offering a loyalty program and you want to maybe solve a problem with a gifting. We were just talking about that with a gifting app the other day when you and I were chatting. And what problem is it solving? Now that you've done that, do your research and find out if there's something out there already that has that solution. So for example, an app that we were talking about, the Joyous app, that app is a gifting app, but it's not a gifting registry or anything like that. It helps people connect so that they can spread the joy in the little things. Like I would have a list knowing what your favorite coffee is, or your favorite sports team, possibly even your favorite chocolate. And then when I want to spread joy, I can send that to you without asking you, hey, Scott, are you Dunkin', Panera, or Starbucks? Right?
Yeah.
And this way I already know which one. And gift cards go unclaimed many, many times because they were given to the wrong one. But if you're looking at this for your business, find out first of all if something's out there already. Now, just because it's there does not mean you can't do it better or solve a second problem. So for example, there's many gifting apps, or another app we just did, Easy Beasy app, which it's a logistics app designed for the home service business, your landscapers, window washers, cleaners, to be able to let them manage their crew and their routes. And the person that developed this, Shannon, she actually is a landscaper and was looking for something, kept searching and searching, and said, nothing is out there. I need to create this myself. And we actually created that with her, and we ended up turning it into a business because Easy Beasy is now being seen with any type of business, but it originally started just for her. So she did all of those steps before she decided to create an app for her business. Now it's an internal app. But as far as having one to showcase your business, after you've done all this research, your market, now you can then seek a developer and talk about what an app would look like. So I get it too often where people come to me and they say, I have an idea for an app. And it's like, okay, but have you done this, 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 and this? And they're like, no. I said, then let's back up and find out. I will hold a 30-minute discovery session with anybody. It's on my website. You can schedule the appointment. I love to hear people's app ideas, because then I can help them discern what their steps should be, if they're too soon, or are they ready, or maybe their idea isn't even good. I've had that already, where people have come to me with an idea for their mobile app, and it's like, okay, it had something to do with fitness. And I asked the question, I said, why do you want to do this? Okay, so we had the why and the problem. And then it was to be able to match partners, I believe it was. I said, have you looked to see why the bigger gyms are not doing this and offering this already? And I sent them back to go do some more research on it, because maybe there isn't a market. So these are all things you have to discern before you say, yes, I want to build an app. And if you do that and really nail that in and zero that in, your app will be successful, especially if you then market it properly, which is the biggest thing.
Well, I think that's a big part. We're in the middle of obviously creating a couple apps ourselves and putting some things together. And I think I know when we were on stage a lot, pre-pandemic,
right?
The idea to be able to drive somebody to their phone, to be able to, get them to join a club or to connect was really important. And then all of a sudden we lost that need because so many different things changed. How flexible once you've developed this, how flexible is that app? Or are there varying degrees based on what you built?
It's actually, what do you do with your right foundation? And that's actually the second step that I do. After I hear people's ideas, I help match them up with the right developer. Because now we've decided that there's a market, there's a need, but now who can do this? Because there's so many different platforms out there and ways that you can put this together. And an app should be a continuously growing project. It's never completed. It's live, usable, generating income, a good market, but you always want to be adding to it and improving it. It is a constant and never ending improvement project. And the reason why I say that is because if you build your platform and it can't be changed, you're stuck.
Yeah.
And now you got to start all over again. So picking that right platform in the beginning is imperative. And working with the right developer in the beginning is imperative. Because unlike a website, there's so many websites out there. There's WordPress and Wix, Squarespace, etc. Right? All great platforms. But if I build my WordPress site and I have a falling out, or my developer goes under, or whatever for my website, I can go to another guy, because they're all a dime a dozen right down the line. And here's WordPress. It's a common language, no problem. Developing a mobile app is not like that. A mobile app, even using the same platform, has its own unique intricacies with the developer and how they built it. Think of it like building a house, and you get the electrician in, and that light switch is going to go off, no question. But how did he get there? How did he go? Did he come down this way, over there? Did he come from underneath? And now you want somebody else to fix it. They're going to spend hours trying to figure out where the wire is, where a quick call to that developer, and they're going to know. Now you want to add new switches. You want to add new features, new things. They're going to know exactly how to build upon it. And that's what you want to do. You never, ever want to just get one product, put it out there, and leave it alone. That's, in the mobile app world, that'll kill you. You'll be one of those that hasn't had an update to your app in over a year, and nobody wants to download it anymore.
So it really is a matter of coming up with an original idea, building to the original idea, putting it out in the marketplace, letting the marketplace make suggestions, give feedback, and then continuing to tweak until you have it as good as you can for that moment, right?
Exactly. It's just like Amazon. Think about it. What did Amazon start as? A book dealer.
Right.
That's all they were. They were strictly books. But if they would have come out today with what they have right now, nobody would be flocking to them. They'd be like, why do I need to buy stuff online? I can just go down here to the store.
Right.
I don't need that. But they built us in the habit of buying a book online. We used to be able to go to a bookstore. I mean, you still can, but it was, I'm buying that. Well, gee, now let's add this, and then let's add that. Now let's turn it into a marketplace. And it's just a vision. And that original vision may not have even been there at the time they started it. Right. They may have had a vision to grow, but they didn't know what direction. Listening to your audience is critical. And that's some of the apps we've even developed. I've seen it happen. We have one right now that's just getting ready to launch that helps people find their career path. It's called What's Next. It'll be coming out here in like the next week or two. And What's Next is a really great app, especially for kids or people in transition that don't know what they want to do. They don't necessarily want to go the traditional college way, but they might. They've never heard about the military or trades and what's involved, and it helps people kind of discern what their talents are. Now, this app right now will just help you kind of find those ways.
Right.
But what we have set up in the future, and where we're planning on going with this app, I can't even express what this is going to be. However, we're going to listen to our people and say, what do you need? And they're not going to tell you what they need by saying, I want to see a button that does this. they're going to say a generic idea of, gosh, a quiz or something to help me figure this out would be wonderful.
Yeah.
They don't care about the features. It's like when you look at Henry Ford, what did he say? If he would have asked the people what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Right. But what they said was their problem. Their problem was, I need to get from here to there faster, more reliable, without, and he listened to that and then came up with the solution. And that's what apps do. A good app listens to their customers and then goes from there. I mean, just look at how much the Be Connected app has grown
Right.
from initial launch.
Yeah, I was actually just filming a promo for the broadcast network. And I said, one of the greatest conveniences about the broadcast network is you can go to the Be Connected app and you can watch anywhere, anytime.
Mm-hmm.
And, totally on demand. So you can get the content you want whenever you want it.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, what a great opportunity from that side. So how many, how many apps are kind of in the, I remember when they first came out. I think I remember when they first came out, and everybody was like, "Oh, I'm going to develop an app. I'll be a gazillionaire in about 12 minutes because everybody's going to pay me 99 cents for this app, or $9 or whatever." That is, how much of that still exists versus the companies actually creating their own apps, taking control of that?
Yeah, the paid for app, actually, it has a little glitch people don't know about. That 99 cents gets split with the app stores. And at one point they were taking 50%. I think they're down to 25 now.
Wow.
So people don't realize that. They're just chugging away going, oh, this guy has 1 million downloads, so he has $1 million. But it depends on the app and what you're doing. I would say of the apps that we've put out, 75% of them are free apps. They have free content. A few of them have a paid version that you can upgrade to. But the whole idea of putting a game, even at like gaming apps and things of that nature, they're not paying for them as much. Now, those that are membership subscriptions, like a dating app that we just announced, it's a whole different venue with this dating. It's basically for people who want intimacy, but not physical relationship due to medical and other reasons. But the Entwined app it will be a paid membership after we build a base with it. And that's the other thing people do. They build a base and then they decide if they want to have a subscription base. However, we're taking that subscription offline out of the stores. We have a way to do that so that the money does go straight into the business's pocket. But for the most part, you really are going to leverage your mobile app to sell your service and products. It's not a billboard, but it's another piece of your branding.
That's what I was going to say, a tool of convenience, right?
It is. And there's a couple of apps out there now that we use a lot for coaches and consultants, that their group can purchase their product, their online courses, and watch them right within the app. They can take the course right there. They can communicate with you directly through the app and have it right convenient in your pocket. So if you're sitting somewhere waiting for a train, plane, or something, and you want to watch a course, you can. Or if you're at the doctor's office, and all these things, we are going to get back out into the public and be waiting for things, waiting for kids to come home from school. You can still interact because you have your device with you.
Yeah.
And so coaches and consultants, we have a great platform for coaches, consultants, speakers, people who want to interact with their audience, and they can have all their online courses there. But we charge for the app to develop it, but the client does not charge their people for the app because they want to build their community. They have a community page right within these apps where they're able to do social postings type things, get them away from your traditional platforms. And the people who embrace this opportunity are capturing people, and they're your target audience. They're basically saying, I want to work with you. I'm willing to give you real estate on my phone. And that's huge, huge. So I'm seeing more and more of that going on right now.
Well, another big thing, again, trying to build a tribe or a loyal following or something, obviously, something of that type. It's interesting. We're seeing social media platforms exploding, but just nonstop chatter. And I get a headache, quite frankly. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people do. But it's amazing how much good content there is. How do you differentiate an app that has good, solid content versus something that's just chock full of noise?
One of the biggest things is, what are the ads like? If the app even have ads themselves, if it's a branded app for a coach or consultant, I do not recommend adding in ads into your app. I mean, there's nothing more frustrating than seeing an article you want to read, and as you're scrolling through, it's popping in these ads and you bump it and all of a sudden you're taken out to someplace else, and it's frustrating.
Right.
So it's really down to, what does that brand want to speak? Do you resonate with that brand? And because it's in this controlled environment, the noise is actually eliminated. It's exactly like you say, going through a news feed. No, drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. And this way you have control over what your brand is speaking and the quality of the information that's going out. You can subsidize your app in many different ways with sponsorships and things, but those ads don't get in the way, right? Yeah. It's a really great technique that we have, that we are able to help leverage partners and bringing a group together. And we could easily take a group of coaches that are similar in their theme or can support each other and create that into one app so that all of their support is together. In fact, we've done that with a couple apps. But again, we control the noise. We control that the push notices that go out to people. And I know a lot of people shut their push notices off, but I'm telling you, on some of the smaller apps for your businesses that you do work with, you really don't want to do that, or at least give them a chance. Give push notices a chance when you download a new app, and decide afterwards if it's annoying or not, because there's a lot of apps out there that do send pertinent information, not just something so that, it pops up and is in your face. Pertinent information so that I can see what's going on with that app for that day. So it cuts the noise way out. The other thing is, say it's a specific coach, like Act Now is another app that we've worked with. Act Now is for actors. And let's just say that I want to find out something. I'm specifically going there and saying, let me read your information about acting. Right. So the apps, it practically eliminates all the noise, and a good administrator of the app will make sure the noise is gone.
Yeah, I agree. It's interesting. I don't know. There's a couple different things, quote unquote, in the news the last couple of days. And I said, when did that happen? And somebody said, haven't you seen that? And I said, no, I literally had missed it, because I don't go to those outlets. I'm tired of the noise. I'm tired of the, like you say, breaking in to read an article and there's, okay, is this a continuation of the article, or did somebody slip something in on me here? And then all of a sudden I got to work at it. It's like, no, I'm trying to get this piece of information here. How many, where was I going with that? Anyway, the idea of being able to use an app, I mean, it really is. What's the percentage of people who are conducting most of their day or business on a handheld device versus a desktop or laptop?
Actually, it's quite high, especially with the millennials, that there's millennials who don't even have a desktop. And they strictly have a mobile device, whether it's a tablet or a phone, and they're getting larger and larger. But people are starting to do well over 50% of their business from their device. And a lot of things are done on the go. And why do you think even some of the big players have adapted? You can do almost everything on some of the social medias right from apps. So if I can do that with my coach and my particular coach that I have, he has an app, and it's really great because I'm able to take notes and do things right there on the go as I'm thinking about it. I don't have to go, I have to go back to my desk so that I can look that up or make that change. How many times have you even answered an email using your device? Right?
Yeah, it's true.
You see the email come in, it's a couple of liner and boom, and away it goes. And now you can even talk into it. Well, we've been able to do that for a while, but you can talk into it that you don't even have to do the physical typing and writing. And side note, if you do talk into your phone, please read it before you send it. I'm going to say it that way.
Are you suggesting autocorrect might not always be so auto?
Yeah. I got caught once myself, and fortunately the gentleman, I was responding to something and I tried to say, I really appreciated Robinson doing that. And it came out, I caught it later. I really think it was inappropriate for Robinson to do it. Two totally different statements.
Yeah, for sure.
It was like, what? She wanted him to do that. And when I caught it like a day later, when I saw it, I was like, that was supposed to be appreciated. And the guy shot back and said, yeah, I've made that mistake. I know. But still, please read it before you go anywhere, because that is what we do. We are really a society of convenience,
right,
and immediate information. And what I love about this is, and I've done this, one of our apps, Brilliant Business Breakthroughs, it's a book series that we have. And you can contact any of the authors right there. One touch, boom, you can do this, pop up, an email pops up and you send it straight to that author. And you can do that while you're listening to their podcast that's within the app, and think, oh, I want to send Maggie a quick note. And you can do it while you continue to listen to the podcast. So it's something that we are doing more and more, well over 50% and climbing.
Wow. That's amazing. Also, it's amazing we've gone through our time here this morning. How do people reach out and get a hold of you to learn from your expertise?
Yeah, the easiest way to find me is on my website, which is unleashedmobileapps.com. And if you even want to just send me an email, I'm just Nancy at unleashedmobileapps.com. But right on my website, I have all my contact information, all my social handles and everything. You can send me a message through there. Or if you have a mobile app idea or just want to talk a little bit more about marketing your mobile app, you can schedule a discovery session. I've got the calendar link right there on my website.
That's awesome. Nancy, I want to thank you for being here today. And I want to thank all of you for being here at Scott Schilling Speaks again today. We'll see you again tomorrow, exact same time. God bless.